Welcome to O-Talkin' with Dave. Coming to you from his palatial fortress in Sin City, where what happens in Vegas is talked about everywhere. Put your hands together for the pastor of positivity whose glass is always at least half full. Here's Dave.
Hey, how we doing out there? I hope you're top shelf, because I am. I sure am. And so, today we're going to talk about conflict. Some people are crippled by conflict. Let me tell you, life is all about conflict management. There's an uncomfortable truth that most of us spend a lifetime dodging conflict. And what we're going to talk about is really to enjoy life and to get everything out of it. It's not about avoiding conflict. It's about managing conflict, whether it's internal or external, or if it's just quiet little challenges, or if it's loud. Sometimes it's planned. Sometimes you get ambushed at 2 a.m. You don't, with social media and texting and all of that. Oh my goodness. And when we think of conflict, we think of conflict with other people or situations at home, work, and play. But a lot of times it's all internal. And you never graduate from conflict. You don't get old enough to where you don't have it. You don't get successful enough to where you can escape it. However, what does change is how you handle it, how you manage it. And the thing is, character isn't built-in comfort. It's just not built in to where, and I don't like comfort zones. Sometimes you can be, somewhat satisfied or okay where you are right now. But honestly, character is built or attained or revealed when there is that friction, sometimes forced friction. And every meaningful part of your life is going to require it. You can disagree all you want, but you look at it. Where did it come from? Usually it came from resolved conflict or managed conflict. Love, friendships, career, creativity, any kind of growth. Every good story ever told has a hero and a villain. And that moment where walking away would be easier, but that's not going to get you the ending you need. Nobody's going to watch that movie when there's conflict. Okay, everybody left. Where'd everybody go? Conflict is necessary. And we'll go back to what we talk about, freedom, control, and resolve. That is intertwined into almost every O-Talk. I think every O-Talk. And it should be. But these things, they don't show up when things are smooth. You don't have to have resolve when everything's going your way, because, hey, everything's going your way. You have freedom. You don't need to control anything. When conflict happens, not if, when conflict happens, they show up. When things are contested, you learn about your freedom, your control, and your resolve. And the thing is, that's the thing most people are avoiding, or they don't want to hear about it. You can't get through it till you get in it. And I am not saying, let's go pick fights. Let's create some drama so we can have conflict. No, trust me, there's an endless supply of conflict. And over time, we learn to manage it, but we deal with it. So, let's talk about it. Studies back this up. Everything I say is backed up by, all the things I'm saying right now are backed up by studies. Some people would definitely, it would cause some conflict if I said everything I say is backed up by studies. No, but this is. Research from Harvard shows that people who avoid conflict experience higher long-term stress and lower relationship satisfaction. much lower than those who address it constructively. Teams that engage in healthy conflict outperform the nice teams, the people playing nice and avoiding conflict. They outperform them by 25%, and that's a lot. That's a lot. And even psychologists, they're consistently finding that post-adversity growth is the strongest predictors of how tough you're going to be and long-term fulfillment. So it's necessary. It's good for you. Avoiding conflict doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you small. It keeps you much less than what you deserve to be. Think about it. Think about it like weightlifting. Clearly, I'm a gym rat. Sorry, that might have been a little unprofessional. But think about weightlifting. You don't grow muscle by avoiding resistance. You grow it by stressing the system just enough to force some sort of adaptation to what you want to be or become. So if you don't have any resistance, you don't have any muscle growth. So think of it the same way with conflict. If you don't have conflict, if you're avoiding conflict, you're not developing your character. And by character, that's a big word, a big category. However, your character is very important, and it takes some beating up. It's kind of like a diamond or a grapevine. Those things have to be put under pressure to develop the best product. Your character is one of those too. And look at the O-Talks we do about being a good person, having integrity, being trustworthy and reliable, all those things. That's your character. And you develop that by managing conflict. So every area of our lives, every arena that matters has conflict baked into it. It does. Think of an area of your life where there is never any conflict. Take a second. Yeah, I could, if I knew what you said, I could probably give you point, counterpoint. But think about it. Love without conflict isn't really love. It's convenience. It's handy. It's nice, but it's not really love. Friendship without some sort of tension every now and then, it's pretty shallow. Some of my best friends in the world, we're going to laugh and we're going to cut up, but we're going to disagree. It can be something as silly as a call in a ball game the day before, all the way to maybe a decision we made a few weeks ago that we're still reeling from. But that's that tension, that perseverance, that resilience, that is a bond. If you don't go through storms together, all right, you have a relationship, but it's not to its fullest. Think about it. In your career, the people who probably developed me the most were people I had knocked down, drag out arguments with. I remember my buddy Greg, he wasn't my buddy, he was my boss, but he came to town and he decided all of a sudden he's going to quit drinking and quit smoking while he's working with me. Whew. I said, let's go to lunch. And I went to a convenience store, and it's probably only the second pack of cigarettes I ever bought in my life. And I said, you are not going to stop both of those. I'm not going to make sure you get drunk, but you're going to smoke because I can't take your withdrawal. But he challenged me and taught me so much. It's fantastic. And then think about hobbies. Man. If there's no challenge in that, if there's no conflict, there's a learning curve. A learning curve is conflict. Tennis, my goodness, the backhand down the line. I couldn't get it until I practiced and missed a lot and was forced to do that. Cross court's just more natural. So think about that. Homework and play. And also, your dreams, until you go for them, they're just in your notebook or on your piece of paper, a wish list. It's when you go for them that the conflict comes and you battle through it. Think about it this way. I was I travel a lot and I have a ton of rental cars, and you come up to the toll and you got to pay it. So conflict is like that toll booth, because that toll road is a better way to go. It's a better way to go. It's going to save you time. It's going to cost something, but anything worthwhile does to get to a better path. It's important. So I think I made my point. I hope I made my point that conflict, it's not only inevitable, but it is necessary. So let's talk about 5 areas where conflict is constructive and necessary. I touched on it a little bit, but relationships. Healthy relationships don't avoid hard conversations. They survive them. Conflict reveals different values or boundaries or commitments and all of that. You've got to set boundaries, even with your closest friends. But friendships, true friendships, don't avoid hard conversations. They survive them. And you get past. Doesn't mean you have to agree. I agree to disagree. That's why with a lot of my close friends, we dabble in religion a little bit. We don't talk about politics. We don't get in too close or too inappropriately. And if we do, okay, we may just agree to disagree, but the friendship, the relationship survives that conflict. Also in careers, in leadership, if you don't have conflict, you just got a bunch of yes people around you. That's not good. You're going to go off a cliff and probably take them with you. So in a career or leadership, progress requires disagreement to challenge thoughts, trajectories, strategies, because it will either improve them or make them stronger. Innovation is born from tension. I remember during COVID, it drove me crazy when people say, don't question the science. Don't question the science. Lady, that's where science came from. Is somebody questioning the status quo and what is this? And no, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be another explanation. That's conflict. And we get better. I'm going to quit referring to COVID someday, but it seems just like a nightmare. Also, another area is your personal identity. This internal conflict, you can't get away from that. So internal conflict resolution or management, that forces clarity. And that is so important. Who you are is often discovered by what you refuse to tolerate anymore. And that's the boundaries. Boundaries are conflict. A fence either keeps something in or keeps something out. Think about that. So you've got to set that. In order to set that, it's got to be tested. I think about my Papa's farm with the cows. They can't get out, but occasionally they'll test that fence, and we may have to rebuild it. Personal identity is the same way. Find it. What is it? Ensure it. Secure it. Be resilient. Know it. Set the boundaries. All of the above. But it's conflict. And internal conflict is tough because you're arguing with yourself or your thoughts. Also, another necessary conflict, it's along the same lines, is growth or change or the next step that's going to make you happier, smarter, better, more confident, all of those things. Every upgrade is going to require some type of discomfort because it's new. Who likes being the new guy or the new girl? You don't. Why? Because it's new and it's uncomfortable and it may require change or new skills or development. New levels demand new skills, and those are learned under pressure. I remember so many times I would go out and in the morning, I would demonstrate what I'm looking for. Take the edge off of it. Here's what I'm looking to put them at ease a little bit. And then in the afternoon, okay, you go. Boom, pressure. It was uncomfortable. May screw it up a few times, but over time you get good at it. You know why? Because you didn't avoid the conflict. You managed it. And then it sounds a little deep and a little catty and maybe a little too philosophical. But think about your purpose or your meaning. I think if you're good with yourself and you are chasing your purpose or your why or whatever your buzzword is, I think what you mean to other people, whether inspiring or friendship or love or courage, any of that stuff, that will just happen. So any meaningful endeavor, it's gonna challenge you. It may have peaks and valleys, but it's gonna challenge you. And if it doesn't cost you something, it probably won't shape you into anything. Fitness is a great example. Hey, you got to get 2 more reps. I remember I was back when I did work out in high school and college and things like that. They would tell me, okay, 10 reps. And then they would say, the last 2 are the only 2 that did you any good because the first 8 were easy. The last 2 challenged you. The same thing. I didn't like hearing that. Let me just do the last 2 then. So that's 5 different necessary conflicts that are good for you. But the thing is, we don't like it. I'm accustomed to it, and I know when it's necessary. However, a lot of people they hate it. So there's some ways you can address that, even if you hate conflict. And one way is just to name it early. Yeah, this is what's happened. Unspoken conflict, it won't disappear, but it may change into something else. So say it before it grows some teeth and gets a hold of you. And at that conflict, it can be fear, it can be embarrassment, it can be the fear of loneliness, the fear that nobody's going to like you. A lot of times it's around that. It's fear or you're scared. And what is it? What are you scared of? Name it. I don't like talking in front of people. Okay, I'm scared of that. What is it about it? And you can deal with it. You can deal with it. You can go through the getting to a good place process, and it'll get you there. But name it. I'm afraid. I'm hurt. But most of the time, it's fear of something. Also, separate that emotion from your objective. Separate the two, because emotions will make you do things that is more drama-filled, or just the name emotion. The thing is, feel what you feel, but don't let feelings run the show. Whatever you're striving to do, whatever your objective, whatever your goal is, focus on that. And if it's that important, you'll overcome those feelings. So when you separate the emotion from the objective, that objective is important. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to do this. So you've got the things you don't want, but also, you know what? I want that job. I want to make this amount of money. I want this circle of friends. That will make you face the fear, which is the emotion, and you'll be more likely to get there. And once you do it, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. That emotion doesn't have a hold on you as much as it did before, because now you've got that routine. You get in it so you can get through it. And then another way, even if you hate conflict, I'm using hate a lot, I know that, but some people do, most people do, a lot of people do. Control what you can. You don't control outcomes. You control your planning, your preparation, your honesty with yourself and others, and probably most important, your effort. All the planning, which goes back to resolve. You can have the best plans and be so prepared and you're ready. But the effort's not there. That's why when I talk about asking for help in the getting to a good place process, you say, who can help me? How can they help me? Okay, will I ask for their help? Because sometimes the person that can help you most, you just can't see yourself asking for that. Oh, I don't want to say that. It's conflict. Yeah. Another way, people who don't like conflict, lean into your resolve without regard for your ego. Winning an argument is easy. It's cheap. But preserving integrity in the whole process, that's priceless. Find a way to lean into that resolve. I'm going to get there. I'm going to make sure that I get where I need to go. And I'm not going to worry about my ego. I can lose arguments. I can admit I'm wrong, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. I may embarrass myself. I may say things that later on I wish I hadn't said. And however, my resolve is more important than my ego. And doing nothing is not an option. And so that goes to the last one I'm going to say. Ooh, gave it away. Even though you're conflict averse, stay in the room. Stay in the room. Don't quit. Don't quit. Quitters, I can't tolerate them. Most breakthroughs happen when one uncomfortable minute happens, and most people bail. They bail. When the conflict happens, they bail. I'll go Old Testament on your butts right now. What about Moses when he got to the Red Sea? The troops were coming behind. Yul Brynner's troops were bearing down on him, and they were to the sea. And everybody was like, we give up. We give up. What have you done? And boom, he parted the sea. They walked through on dry ground. Miss Tanner would be so proud of me that I brought Old Testament into this. Stay in the room. See how it happens. See it resolved. Don't quit. Stay in the room, because most breakthroughs happen just after an uncomfortable moment happens. So important. You'll get through it. You can. You'll get through it one way or another. And then the next time it'll be easier. Because if you don't, if you avoid conflict, you're going to have problems. It's not going to go well. And here's how it's going to manifest itself. Resentment. Resentment is not loud at first. It builds slowly. You don't go from here to total resentment. No, it's a little at a time because it's unaddressed issues. Unaddressed issues, they don't fade. They harden. It's like sand turning into rocks, turning into limestone, turning into a mountain because you didn't address it. You avoided it. So, resentment, it gets harder. Also, once you avoid the conflict, your self-respect is going to erode a little bit. Every time you avoid a necessary stand, you teach yourself, okay, that's how I get through it. And really needed to say this, but I didn't. So I guess it didn't matter that I didn't say it. Maybe my input doesn't matter. And your self-respect erodes because you're not using it. You're not standing up. So many times I had it said to me, and those who aren't speaking up, I know they're smart. I know they have good ideas. And you give them time and say, you'll find your voice. You'll find your voice. When you do, it's your responsibility to use it, or your self-respect's going to erode, and then the respect of others. That's when relationships will become fragile. If you don't address conflict with somebody or something that needs to be said, you're going to create distance between you and them instead of peace, because conflict, on the other side of conflict, it's a resolution and a closeness, especially with family and friends and loved ones, those you care about. You get through it, you're in a better place. And you're closer than you were before. So when you don't address it, the relationships become more fragile. And also, homework and play, opportunities, they're going to pass you by. Achievement or growth, that doesn't happen. It doesn't wait for you to be comfortable. It goes on and finds somebody else. I love that line in the Ashley McBride song, you got to be ready when the big man calls because he ain't going to call you twice. Kobe Bryant, he was sitting on the bench. But in high school, he sat on the bench. And he said, I had to be ready. I had to be ready because whenever I had that opportunity, may not come twice. And that's the way it is with the opportunity to manage your conflict and get through it. Because it's not going to wait on you. It may not come back. And then, here's the thing though. The conflict is going to find you anyway. And if you don't see it, if you haven't become accustomed or proficient in managing your conflict, it's still going to find you. You ignored it, but it's not ignoring you. It's going to show up louder later. So address it. Let's do it. Let's not have this situation. Manage it. Don't run from it. So I told you the bad things. Let's not stay there. Let's go to the good things when conflict is properly addressed and managed. Your boundaries, we talk about boundaries all the time. They're going to be stronger because you learn where you end and others begin because you've talked or dealt with it. You know where the fence is. You know what you're keeping in and what you're keeping out. And so do they. Your boundaries are stronger. It's great. Then you trust each other more. People trust honest people. Not that those are just agreeable. Oh yeah, yes men. They're like bobbleheads on your dash. Do they have those anymore? I was in a discussion with a dear friend, but I'll just say a newer relationship with this person. And one of the things we settled on that we really liked about each other was we're honest. We're honest. I'll say I don't like it. I'll say I don't like it. I don't like salad. No, I don't. Make me a salad? Okay. I may eat a little bit of it, but I'm probably going to pick out the bacon and the blue cheese and the little craisins. I love those things. Where have craisins? I didn't have craisins as a kid, but I don't, you know what? I'm not going to eat that salad because you know what's going to happen? She's going to keep making me more salad, and I don't want that. So be honest. Not a fan. And that sounds like a little thing. It projects to the big things. Just be honest. It's quicker. It's easier. Yeah. And also you get greater freedom. You know how I feel about freedom. Necessary conflict gives greater freedom. There's nothing frees you like knowing you can face hard things, hard decisions, hard conversations. I wish I had the tally. I know the percentage is way up on a hard conversation I dreaded, maybe even put off a little bit, but I know I dreaded it. And it wasn't that bad at all. And over time, you get better at having that because of your honesty, because of your boundaries, because of your trust. You can face it. That gives you freedom. That gives you freedom to decide what you're going to say. It also gives you control because now the boundaries are there. I can have conflict and tell them no. And doing that over time strengthens the resolve. See how these are connected? Yeah, greater freedom. That alone is a reason to address conflict. And two, that resolve is sharpened because you have evidence. Conflict resolution and management, it provides the proof. So when you do have those moments where your resolve may be tested, now you can go back to the evidence. This works. Let's hop into it so we can get past it. And that will give more freedom, which will give more control. But it's driven by the resolve. And for no other reason, hey, it's a better story. No one wants to hear about the hero who never had to fight. When did that happen? Everybody knows in a love story, everything's going great. If you're 30, 45 minutes in, you know something's going to happen. I don't know who it's going to be. If it's going to be somebody tempting the girl or somebody tempting the guy or a threat or what, you know it's coming. Otherwise, it's just a porno. That was wrong. I apologize. But you've got to have conflict. It's a better story. And you know what you're working on? You're working on your story. You're the hero because of something or some things or some ideas that you've defeated or mastered or navigated. Yeah. So the conflict is, it's not if, it's when you're going to face it. Life isn't asking you to seek it out, and I sure am not. You don't have to. But life is asking you to stop running from it, stop avoiding necessary conflict. And the freedom comes from facing what binds you. We've talked about pushing out and creating space. That's freedom. Conflict management does that. But also, once you push that space out and you've created this area, fill it with something. Fill it with control and resolve and positivity. New, good people, good friends. Control comes from managing what you can influence, and resolve comes from staying and standing when things push back at you. It's so important. In conflict, a lot of people think conflict is the enemy. It's not. Conflict is not the enemy. Avoiding conflict, necessary conflict, is the enemy. Step into it. Not recklessly, not angrily, but honestly and thoughtfully and courageously. Nothing could be more endearing. I don't know about nothing, but there are not many things more endearing than you got a conflict with somebody that you care about. And look, I love you. I care about you. And you are too important to me to have this thing unresolved. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's get through it. I love you that much. I care about you that much. What a way to start. Yeah, honestly, thoughtfully, courageously. Because the life you want isn't on the other side of comfort. Please, sir, please. It's on the other side of conflict that you may have been postponing. And you're more equipped to deal with it than you think. You are, once you get in there. How many times have you heard musicians or athletes or speakers or preachers or whoever talk about the nerves before, but once you get on stage, once that first note hits, once that ball is in play, there you go. That's conflict. That's conflict management. So I hope this brought a nugget to you. It's very important. It's very important. And it's almost purple car. It's almost hit that clicker when conflict happens. And it's a trigger to, I need to deal with it. What do I need to do? What's my responsibility? What's my objective? Get my ego out of the way. Let's get to work. You'll be glad you did. Hit me up, David@otalks.com or Dave@otalks.com. Let me know what you think. Talk to me about your conflicts and how you've resolved them. Or hit me up with some that you're just scared, man. You're stalling. Let me know. I'll be honest with you. I will. And it's just my take. But I've resolved a lot of conflict and am resolving conflict on a daily basis. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging on. But most of all, thanks for talking with Dave. Giddy up.